value-based, value-enriched quality education. From the teachings of Mahatma Gandhi, one particular idea that we can recollect is the concept of self-reliance. He was so particular about the concept of self-reliance. That's why he introduced to be the Swadeshi movement and many other initiatives done by Gandhi, which was followed by Dr. Radhakrishnan, the concept of self-reliance. But in 21st century, how this particular concept of self-reliance as envisaged by Mahatma Gandhi's views can be followed. So that's a question that we have to. And then another one is that to have quality education. So my hypothesis is that to have quality education, we should not confine with the limits of defined definitions of a particular thing. We must go beyond the definition. I have to say that we have to add some plus concept in education for quality education, to convert it into a quality education. And then another point that we have to discuss is that in the process of education, we should not create some educated mass seeking for employment, seeking for placement one after another. But we have to create people who will be able to provide employment. So that seems to be one of the means by which we can have the quality education, and by which we can have the sustainable development. And then in this particular section of our social progress, we have to depend more on from traditional approaches to modern approaches like that of blended learning opportunities to provide quality education. So that this quality education naturally will lead to sustainable development, and that should be our target, and that should be our destiny. Thank you very much for giving me the time.
On behalf of the organizers, we have great pleasure to present a copy of this book to Dr. Benedict. We have great pleasure to invite Dr. R.L. Bindu to present a few opinions about what has been said here about sustainable development and education for peace. Dr. R.L. Bindu. We would also request her to wind up this program by proposing the vote of thanks also. On behalf of the organizers, we have great pleasure to present a copy of this very valuable book to Dr. R.L. Bindu. She is from the Department of Education, University of Kerala.
Good evening to all. It's really a memorable occasion for me and all my colleagues, because the Department of Education is very close to the Gandhi Smaraka Nidhi, and we have been associating with Gandhi Smaraka Nidhi in organizing various programs and in all the activities. And we have great pleasure in honoring a person like Dr. Radhakrishnan. And we have been thinking, and we are in the world where there is a great relevance for the principles put forward by Gandhiji. And we last 6 months back, we have organized a seminar on relevance of Gandhian principles in the emerging global scenario. I think one relevance has been released here in the form of a book, because the life of a person who had worked with Gandhiji, or who have understood Gandhiji, and who have been practicing his principles all through his life, and his life has been depicted by a person, not an Indian, but a person outside India. That is a very great honor. and that all of us must be trying to emulate his life. Because when we think of Gandhiji, the father of our nation, actually he has put forward a philosophy, what not. That is, Gandhiji was an idealist, he was a naturalist, he was a pragmatist, a realist, and what not. Above all, he was a humanist. But when we think of the global system or the recent system of education or sustainable development, what is the place of this humanism? I think the name itself is Dr. Radhakrishnan, non-violent activist educator. Any person who acquires education can be an educationist, or he can act as an education provided he can work for that. And an activist also. And I think the current society is developing or making people motivating to become activists against any whatnot. So, but how can be a person who is a non-violent man? We are not sure. So, which philosophy do we have to follow to be a non-violent person? As Dr. T.P. Srinivasan said, a man can practice non-violence, but he may not be understanding the real sense of ahimsa. It is something above this non-violence. Not killing anything, it is not ahimsa, but understanding the worth, the truth, beauty, and the goodness in everything. That is ahimsa. That we should understand. And how we can impart this to the coming generation, or to the young people, or even to the children. I think that must be the point of discussion at the fag end of this seminar. We have to discuss whether a person, whether he should be an idealist, a rationalist, a pragmatist, or a humanist, or a proper blend of all these philosophies, or all the principles that is put forward by the philosophers. So that must be, and we have with us the people from outside India. I think this is a great recognition for Dr. Radhakrishnan. All the three people are here. Even in his absence, we can understand their vision, their mind, or their aspiration for Dr. Radhakrishnan. So this is what our culture says, that's the Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam, the concept of Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam. And through that concept, we can bring peace and harmony. I am a member of the Global Harmony Association. The president is Dr. Leo Semashko. And in my humble way, I am also contributing to bring about some kind of peace and harmony. And anybody can do that, provided we are all educated people. In that way, we can strive to bring about programs or to propagate the principles put forward by Gandhiji, because his philosophy touches everything in this universe. Just like we say, Vyaso Chishtam Jagat Sarvam. Just like that. He actually understood that principle, and he has given his vision regarding everything in this universe. In that way, a proper sustainability in human lives. In that way, the message through his book, that is my life is my message. Just like that, Dr. Radhakrishnan's life is giving a message through this book. In that way, this occasion is also a really memorable one. So that must be the point of discussion, or that is the aspect that we have to propagate, or we have to put forward. In that way, it's a really memorable occasion, and I am happy to work with all the members of Gandhi Smarak Nidhi, and I'm happy to be along with this people, this learned people. And my next duty in this fag, and I'm not elaborating much on this points, and my next duty is to propose vote of thanks. I'm sorry. proposing vote of thanks in place of Dr. V.M. Shashikumar, the Vice President, Council of Teacher Education. Actually, he was a little sick and he left the hall. He has come here, but in his absence, I am proposing the vote of thanks. Because the Council of Teacher Education, we have the General Secretary, Dr. K.Y. Benedict here. The Council of Teacher Education is associating with the Gandhi Smartaka Nidhi in many programs. So first of all, let me propose vote of thanks to Sri Ramesh Chenitala, who has inaugurated the function and who has released the book on Dr. Radhakrishnan, written by Wendy Pai. So on behalf of all the organizers and on behalf of all the participants here, I wholeheartedly record my vote of thanks to Sri Ramesh Chenitala. And we had with us Professor T.P. Srinivasan, former ambassador and now the present Vice Chairman, Kerala Higher Education Council, who have delivered the keynote address. So his experience or his service all over the world actually contributed to the molding of ideas. That is how the Gandhian principles has been practiced all over the world or in a global way. So his words also was an eye-opener on this occasion, and on behalf of all the participants and on behalf of the organizers, I propose vote of thanks to Professor T.P. Srinivasan. And we have with us the friends from abroad, Mr. Ian McLeod, Danny Nagashima, and Louis Nils. So we are very thankful to you, sir, because this was a very gracious occasion and you came from such a distance, and from your heart, from the bottom of your heart, you have expressed your concern, your love towards Dr. Radhakrishnan. And we are able to identify even without his absence. Thank you very much. And we all extend our heartfelt thanks also, and we seek your cooperation again in our future programs also. Thank you. On behalf of the Gandhi Smartaka Nidhi, I propose the vote of thanks. Then we have with us Dr. Gopalakrishnan Nair sir, Sri S.K. Kumar Prasad sir, and Professor Ramdas sir, and Dr. N. Gopalakrishnan Nair sir. Then all the members of and all the members of Gandhi Smartaka Nidhi who is rendering their full support for their chairman, that is Dr. N. Radhakrishnan. And all the members have materialized this program as a grand success, even in his absence. And my hearty condolences to the demise of his brother also. And once again, thanks to all the members of Gandhi Smartaka Nidhi. And my thanks to Dr. K.Y. Benedict, because he is the General Secretary of Council for Teacher Education. While we are planning for this program, actually Radhakrishnan sir told we have to associate it with the Council for Teacher Education. I am also a member, and Dr. V.M. Shashikumar also, he took initiative and discussions with Benedict sir and all. The Council for Teacher Education has rendered full support for the conduct of this program, and for further programs also. I thank the authorities or the office bearers of Council for Teacher Education for rendering their support for the success of this seminar. Yes. Then my thanks to, on behalf of the organizers, my thanks to Gandhi Media Foundation Trivandrum also for being a part of the organizing members of this program. And last but not the least, thanks to Sri Purnachandran, because I think he is a living example of what Gandhiji dreamt about the poor people or the village people. He is a living example. From that background, I think you may be familiar with the life of Purnachandran. From that background, he was able to come over here. He was standing before us in such a graceful occasion. So that is an example, or that gives us a message to us that anybody can be brought to the upper level, provided he is getting the right environment for success in his life or to lead a sustainable life. So thanks to Purnachandran also, and Dr. V.M. Shashikumar also. He is even in his absence. I am proposing vote of thanks. So once again, thanks to the media people, to the press, and to the office bearers of this press club also, and all those who have rendered their support for the successful completion of this program. Thank you once again.
One short request for the brother from States.
Yeah.
When we are talking about non-violence, can't we request the United Nations to have negotiations in neighboring countries?
Yeah. Yes. I think the negotiations are going on, but more people are attracted towards the war. Because,
We are always accumulating weapons. We are always accumulating weapons.
We have to think of bilateral negotiations.
Money for welfare of the poor. So many poor.
I think at least towards the members. Okay, we are coming to the close of this program, that is with national anthem.
I request all our friends to join us in rendering the national anthem written by Rabindranath Tagore. जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जाहे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे